All right, I wanted to let everybody know that I did not make the VNSH holster for everybody. Now, I probably made it for you, or at least if you're watching this video, you may think that I did. But let's talk about who I made this for and who I didn't make it for. First, who I made it for. Actually, I take that back. Let's go with who I didn't make it for. I didn't make it for people who absolutely love Kydex, who spend $5, $10, $15,000 a year on guns. I didn't make it for people who are necessarily in law enforcement and need something to wear while they're on active duty. Didn't make it for the military. I honestly made it for average people who are just like me, who need a reason to carry a little bit more, or who have a reason to carry, I should say, and have found that it just doesn't happen the way that they want. So I think the easiest person to talk about is the Kydex holster person, right? Who say hey, Kydex or die. I see that a lot on comments all over the place, and I get it. Like, Kydex offers a few things that the VNSH holster doesn't offer. The biggest would be some kind of active retention, right? So if you just put a gun inside of the VNSH holster, don't adhere the retention strap and shake it, it's going to fall out. And I can understand why some people would say that's just a deal breaker for me. I actually don't even use the retention strap when I carry. Part of the reason for that is when I am carrying, I'm just going back and forth from places, getting in and out of my car, and there's enough tension from my body pressing against the holster and the gun to keep it in here. So if that's the kind of person you are and you're like, I'm not going to carry without some kind of active tension or retention, then this probably isn't going to work for you. The retention strap does help keep the gun in place and does add a little bit of time if you're going to have to draw. But if that's a trade-off that you're willing to make in order to just carry, I think it's well worth it. And of course, you can train with your retention strap. You don't have to be sitting here, never drawing from your holster with the retention strap on to know what it's like. So I think that that's something that when people throw that out there as an excuse for not wanting to purchase a holster, you're going to have to train for anything, right? You're going to have to train to clear a garment, especially if you're in wintertime and you've got a jacket and something else on. It's like you're still going to have to do things to make it so that you have a smooth draw. So I'm not really trying to, get into an argument around whether or not that is something that you need to focus on with the retention strap, but you should be training with it anyway. So anyways, on to the next point. That would be something around a trigger guard. Kydex has a really secure trigger guard. Right now, we do have a TPU trigger guard inside of here, so you can see the outline of it almost. If you were to take a knife and cut this, you're going to find a thin piece of plastic that does prevent access to the trigger. So you don't have to worry about that. And I think that that's a good thing that people brought up. It was actually something that was brought up over 2.5 years ago, and we installed the trigger guard right after that. I don't believe there's a single other belly band out there that has a built-in trigger guard. So it's somewhere where we do excel in terms of belly bands. So that's something that I wanted to talk about. The other thing that people are frequently going to complain about is the belt itself. So I'll just open it up. I get it. It's a lot of material. So if you're going to be wearing that all day long, it's not quite like just throwing a little Kydex holster on some jeans with a regular old belt. But the thing about it is you're still going to be wearing jeans and a belt and a Kydex holster if you're carrying, or khakis or whatever. So there's still quite a bit of material around your waist. This adds a little bit more, I'm not going to lie, but the material that we've selected here is stretchy. It's breathable. It does not retain odor. It doesn't retain moisture. So even though you're wearing it all day long, you really don't believe, or you don't notice that it's there. So I think that if that's a deal breaker, okay. But the reason for the belt, and this is really where we get into the main reason to have the VNSH holster, is it's super versatile. Right? If you're wearing basketball shorts and you need to go to the store, you don't now have to go upstairs and change into some clothes with belt loops and then throw on a belt. You can just wrap your VNSH holster around you and go. And for me personally, that's the reason that I designed it. I didn't like wearing pants with belts because I like to wear shorts, gym shorts, joggers, sweatpants, and stuff like that. So it was just a natural reason to create a holster like this, because now I could carry without having to change my clothes or change my wardrobe. So that's a lot of people, right? Like, especially bigger people, bigger guys, they've got a stomach that kind of Dunlaps over their belt, as they say. So, how are they going to carry with a belt system and a Kydex holster? It's pretty difficult. With this, you can shift it around, you can wear it, it's stretchy. So again, like a lot of belts that you're going to use with a Kydex holster are pretty stiff. So there's not a lot of room for expansion. With this, you do have that. So it does make it a little bit more comfortable for bigger guys. Even for someone like myself, it works for anybody of any size, unless you have over a 68-inch waist, in which case it's not going to work for you. You know, honestly, if you've got over a 68-inch waist, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to carry a gun anyways, just because of how your body is shaped. So it's going to be something that I don't even think we're going to try and to design for. But that's the reason for the belt. And then most importantly, it's just comfortable, right? Like this material here, I've got a few accessories on it that I have been working on, but this material is incredibly flexible. The only thing that you're going to feel as it relates to carrying is your gun itself. And Kydex holsters, they usually have some kind of flare, some kind of additional material there to keep the gun secure that is going to be what digs into you. With this, you're not going to find that much digs into you. Maybe your pistol grip a little bit, depending on how you carry, but we are engineering something to help defeat that problem. And, you know, with the VNSH holster, one of the things too is we are constantly innovating. So right here, you can see I've got this little appendix pillow on the back. That is actually meant to, it just goes on with some industrial grade fabric tape, and then it's going to push the pistol grip closer to your body. And then inside of here, I know you won't be able to see it, but I can link something for you on our site. We have this little pistol wedge. So this goes in with industrial fabric tape too, and it cants the slide of your gun towards your bodies to help minimize printing. So most other companies out there, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but they've just made a belly band holster and they're good with selling it the way that it is because people want a solution, and then they find that that solution probably isn't as satisfactory as they believed. And with us, we're innovating constantly. I've actually taken over our lead product development role because we've discovered that we needed it, right? We came out with this holster a little over 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago. December of 22 is when we launched. And we've been selling this like crazy. And we've just been trying to keep up with the sales. And we haven't really been able to focus on innovation. And now that's where we're at. I have a bunch of stuff in the pipe right now that is going to help improve this version of the VNSH holster. I have another version of the VNSH holster coming out. I've got a couple other things that I think that people are really going to like. And all of these are designed with one simple mission in mind: to help you protect what or who matters most. And we do that by increasing your comfort with and your access to firearms. If you have this with you, that means that you probably have your gun. And if you aren't carrying because your holster was a problem, then you don't have your gun with you. So, hey, more access. And then our other stuff like our laser strike system, laser strike enhanced training system, those are all meant to help you feel more comfortable with your gun so that you know how to manipulate it, so that you can actually practice clearing clothing and drawing from the holster safely so that you can put rounds on target. We have this entire ecosystem inside of our company designed to make it so that you feel confident with your gun, and you don't have to be some crazy gun nut, which I am a gun nut, so I'm just lumping myself into that. You don't have to be a gun nut to enjoy VNSH products. Like, guns can just be a tool that are a part of your life, and you realize the importance of them, and this is going to help integrate a gun into your life without it consuming you. Now, I would love it if every single person who purchased a VNSH holster ended up becoming a crazy gun nut and bought all the things. I know that's not reasonable. So I'm just here happy to know that this is helping a lot of Americans who would otherwise not carry. And, you know, this isn't for everybody. It hopefully is for you if you're watching this video. And if it is, you can just grab one of these down in the link below.